Gonzo, and I am an alcoholic.
My name is Rich, and I'm an alcoholic.
And we'll be your narrators for this evening. We'd like to welcome you to the Saturday Night Live 35 years on stage. You do that now, yeah. During this tribute, you'll be taken through 7 or 8 slight changes Saturday Night Live has made.
This production is to honor, respect, and remember how SNL began and has continued to exist throughout the years. Some of you may recognize the characters who are being depicted. This is because the true story of SNL resides in the spirit of its past and present members.
Always remember Rule 62. Don't take yourself too seriously. There have been many people who have blessed the rooms of Saturday Night Live. Some people have gone back to drinking, moved, found other fellowships, and even passed on. We would like to thank them for their contribution to our fellowship. Our intention is to protect the anonymity of our members, but hopefully you will recognize the characters. Please understand that we may have missed something, someone, or got something wrong? Forgive us. This tribute was done in the fellowship of the Spirit. That was, is now, and forever will be Saturday Night Live, our home group.
Our story begins at the Prince of Peace Church after a meeting where we were located from May 1981 through all the way through August 1981, where John S., John P., and Mike P. are always talking.
I can't believe we didn't think of this earlier. We attended meetings every other night in Los Gatos and Campbell.
I'm so glad we got together in Ben Lomond, California, at my house and started a Saturday night meeting. I thought it'd be a great place to find my wife so she'd stop going up to bars on Saturday night without me. A place where A and Al-Anons would get together on Saturday nights.
In walks 8 others to make the original 11. John C., who had 5 years, John P. with 4, Mike P. and Mike O.B. with 3 years, Deanna W., Meg P., Jack D., Bruce H., Randy L., Nancy L., John S. All had less than 2 years of sobriety.
I'm so glad we have a place to come and hear our chairperson read from the big book and share on the topic. John C. did such a great job chairing our first meeting.
And Jackie C. did a great job being the first Al-Anon to share our Saturday once a month Al-Anon.
But I have some bad news. The church asked us to leave because you're smoking too much dope. We're not cleaning up after ourselves, and they don't want to deal with the smell of the smoke anymore.
I have an idea. Why don't we start a group within a group? We could get a place where we would have a building 24/7. We'd have meetings anytime and whatever other events we wanted. I was involved with a group like this in Dallas, Texas called the Preston Group. However, we would not be considered an Al-Anon club because our club would be closed between meetings.
People began to search for the next site. Eric J. found room 47, located in the Campbell Community Center, where SNL was located from September 1981 through May 1991. At the same time, people started having planning meetings in John C.'s garage, which is where we are now.
Hey, John, thanks for letting us meet in your garage.
Yeah, but shouldn't we name the meeting first? I've got it. How about Saturday Night Live?
Whoa!
But let's change the spelling of night to N-I-T-E.
Now we have a lot more to discuss, so let's figure out the time the meetings will be held. Why don't we have night meetings?
I need to attend noon meetings because of my schedule. I'll run a noon meeting if you like.
Okay, so here's the schedule we came up with. Monday night newcomers meeting, Tuesday open podium, Wednesday and Thursday big book and step study, Friday speaker, our regular Saturday night meeting, and an early evening Sunday topic discussion meeting. All of the meetings will be open meetings.
The people continue to meet to work out the details of the group that is now SNL. John C. had about 5 years at the time, and everyone else had less than 4 years. And John reminded them all the time. They worked together diligently to come up with meeting formats, times, duration, facilities management, group position, topics, etc. Always remembering that our primary purpose is to carry the message to other alcoholics who still suffer.
At the same time, in 1994, Santa Clara County Superior Court Judge Lawrence Terry and a handful of other judges began advocating for substance abuse treatment. SNL became one of the places to send newcomers with court cards. Judge Terry's famous phrase was, "You are hereby sentenced to Saturday Night Live." Now, settled in room 47 with John P. as the first chairperson, Mike P. as the secretary, and John S. as the first treasurer. The group needed direction. This led to the development of the first group conscience. Adhering to the fifth tradition, John S. wrote the first group conscience, which was called Group Tradition, at the time with input and direction from SNL members.
Lots of kibitzing.
Kind of like now. We are now sitting in a group conscience meeting, conscience meeting, discussing issues that have come up in room 47. John S. is sitting at the table with the others sitting or standing around. People are asking several questions at the same time. Yeah, whatever.
Besides the lease!
What about the freaking chairs?
Coffee pots and trays.
What about building improvements? The heaters, the air conditioning, speakers, and the light?
Where do we put the money?
What about a safe?
We're a little late on that decision, by the way.
The group continued to work through concerns, go to meetings, and come up with several other ideas to help people stay sober.
I'm going to purchase a pegboard to list all the positions and meetings, which is still used today.
I'm going to put together an SNL meeting guide. Let's create an event coordinator and have monthly events that include dances, house parties, howling, bowling, possibly covered for those who can't afford by contributions made outside the group collection.
She's playing 2 people, just so you know.
Michael and I are starting a softball team. The coach is going to be Johnny O, and some of the players will be Jackie O.B., Woody, Emil, Mike P, John P, Pablo G, Lance D, Tim S, Richard P, and shit, anyone else was there.
Bring your glove.
I'm going to make personalized coffee cups. Oh,
I
God.
have one of those. Long sobriety date on it, by the way. How about it is sobriety date? Speakers around. I have a vision for a talent show. I sit and listen to all our members tell their unique talents. The large food, talk about public. I think the first should be held on March 27, 1982. If it is a hit, we could have it on New Year's Eve and call it the New Year's Eve Talent No Talent Show.
Yeah.
Virgil, where are we?
Yeah!
Out of room 47 group also came 24-hour Desire Chips, speaker events, which included Duffy's Friday Night Series, Silmar retreats, and group anniversary parties.
Oh, even though SNL was a lively bunch, and growing by leaps and bounds, The fellowship lacked old-timers. The desire to work with newcomers led some of the more reluctant old-timers to the group. Names such as Dr. Fred, Al E., Jack H., Peppermint Pat M., Gail A., Mike E., Pat E., Ollie O., Pat O., Dan C., Bud T., Don C., to name a few.
Stop drinking.
Here is a list of events that followed over the next 7 years at Room 47.
In 1983, we started the temporary sponsorship box. Had the first Asilomar retreat with John C. and Gail A. The retreats went through the 1990s when it was taken out of the group in response to some serious questions regarding traditions.
In 1984, the literature coordinator was voted in as a steering committee position, indicating once again SNL's commitment as a group to carry the message of recovery to the still suffering alcoholic.
In 1985, a group inventory was done, and that process is still used today.
In 1986, the first annual Saturday Night Live picnic was held. It was set up by Mike O.B.'s family to thank SNL for saving his life. Mike O.B. died of cancer that year. That picnic is still being celebrated today. Also in 1986.
Also, in 1986, problems began to arise. Parking issues,
Out of my space.
loitering, loud motorcycles, screeching tires, loud children at meetings, secretaries not running meetings correctly, money being stolen,
We were late with the safe, okay?
and as a result, a state.
In 1989, everybody waited for Lenore to be finished. We received several complaints from the city, which made about Lenore. It was clear that Lenore's time was coming to an end. On a more positive note, in May, SNL had our first AA convention at the LeBaron Hotel in San Jose, and did not have another one until the reunion in 2003. For reasons.
After the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake, SNL became a comforting place where people gathered to find some peace.
In 1990, SNL received a letter from the city manager of Campbell telling us to fuck off.
Nobody to blame on ourselves.
Okay, that's a really thing. Manager telling us one more year on our lease and then we needed to fuck off. The city was so kind and sent a positive note out to other cities and public agencies, telling of SNL's work in recovery and asking for help and telling them to fuck off.
Anywhere but here. Anywhere but here.
In Room 47, recordings were done by Reel to Reel, which has morphed into SNL's speaker library on CDs. And actually, that was my very first meeting in SNL. It was a midnight meeting.
You're still reading.
And I'm still reading. In April of 1991, SNL found our third home, a nearly abandoned shopping center called El Paseo. Out in the middle of this barren wasteland of shops with roofs. After a midnight meeting on a long caravan of pickup trucks, cars, and people moved us to room 120 at the El Paseo Shopping Center, where we located from June of 1991 all the way through April of 1995.
We are now located at a business meeting in room 120.
We are not perfect. action here. All right, here we go. In the mic, please. I can't do that. Okay, so I propose that a contact service representative be added to the list of steering committee posts.
Well, I should shorten the steering committee post to support AA's tradition of rotation of service.
Let's start planning for our next day of sobriety and our next trip to the camp for the thank you SNL picnic.
I put in an application to have a City of San Jose business license, and it was approved.
Okay. Smoking versus non-smoking started to become the issue of the day. We bought some very expensive smoke eaters. To chew up what smoke we could. But it was a standard joke within the room that we had a non-smoking section.
I hate smoke. Why don't we have a non-smoking section?
Smoke? What about the rent increase from $1,700 to $2,500 a month?
We needed to remind ourselves what our primary purpose was and not take ourselves too seriously.
The New Year's Eve talent show is coming up, and guess who's the MC?
In January of '92, AA itself was in the courts with our AA logo and the ownership of our symbols of recovery being challenged. Let's do. Who's Walter?
Let's do another group inventory and a group conscience review.
Rewrite.
Okay.
Out of the group conscience, the meetings changed where only AA members could conduct meetings, and all other 12-step members were told to fuck off.
Well, what's up with the
We're eliminated
mountain
from
pot
chairing
sitting in a corner?
Jimbo.
I'd like to make a motion to remove it.
The commercial coffee machine.
Hey, that's his fault down there. The smoking issue has never been. The smoking issue was never resolved. What? Or am I?
There's somebody yelling.
The smoking issue was never resolved. Why don't we have some non-smoking meetings?
The group decided to have 3 meetings, be non-smoking meetings, but that discussion was so heated, they tabled it and put it into the group conscience document that some meetings may be non-smoking, although it never stated which one.
We're keeping too much money on hand. Why don't we set up the prudent reserve so any only cash would be kept?
Let's set up a separate document within the group conscience how the secretary's workshop works.
By 1993, the business meetings, group conscience reviews, financial decisions, major events, and changes in our meetings were dominating discussions more than ever. Meeting membership started to decline with more meetings in the Santa Clara Valley. The midnight meetings left for a few years and headed to Saratoga Lanes to become their own group and jumped around at various meeting places until their return in 1997.
For the New Year's Eve talent show MCs, why don't we see if Woody and Billy D can do it?
I'm going to secretary the Monday newcomers meeting. I would like to put in place change night. When the outgoing secretary chairs out, and encourage people to bring their change and put it in the 7th tradition bucket. Pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters.
I would like to be the next secretary.
John F. and John C., the 2 long-timers, battling with the newcomers in mind, revived the meeting, brought back some needed energy and excitement of sobriety, and brought in hundreds of dollars between them in change. John C.'s change that night alone brought in $700. That's a lot of coin. John C. and John F. have since passed on before 2006.
Due to a bankruptcy sale of the property, Another relocation committee was formed consisting of Walt O., Cheryl W., Diane O., Perry O., Ken R., and John H. Again, SNL's business of recovery and ways to carry the message remain.
That looks like that or something. At a business meeting discussing the move,
The site is a great choice for a number of reasons. First, it has a lot of parking. Second, it keeps us isolated from the general public. And third, there are many other facilities to use, like baseball field and grassy areas for smoking dope. Picnics.
The problem is no smoking on the school grounds. That worked out really well for us, by the way.
Bobby,
Read it.
I don't want to walk all the way to the sidewalk to smoke.
It's like we're being forced to exercise and quit drinking as well.
After much debate, the final vote came in and our group conscience was to move to Blackford.
Yeah, I got sober there. Woo, good thing.
from May of 1995 through June of 1997, we moved to our fourth home, Blackford High School, with a group as vibrant as ever.
At a business meeting at Blackford,
I think we need to increase our prudent reserve to $10,000 to cover what we would now be 2 full months of projected expenses.
We need to do a group conscience and take a look at changing safety sobriety requirements and meeting secretary requirements.
It's important that each meeting is part of the group as a whole.
I'm Joycey, and Jim O.S. and I would like to create the sobriety tree, a place where people can sign when they come into SNL.
He's choking happy right out of that.
Lighting and sound for the 95-96 New Year's Eve talent show. However, the only guy I can find that runs sound is deaf in one ear and can't hear the
At the Tell and No Talent show, one not so famous act came about while at Blackford High School.
Hi, my name is Barry, and my name is Don, and we are members of Ballerinas Anonymous.
attendance dwindled at Blackford. Now you know why. The non-smoking had more of an impact than we thought, but once again, God found a way to help us. A German language school outbid us for the site, and we had to find another home. How do you say fuck off in German? Okay.
We are now at a meeting where the relocation committee is discussing the move.
I think small strip malls with depressed shopping areas and lots of parking seem to fit our requirements best, and there's lots of vagrants. It's a good place for us.
We need a location that keeps us close to bus lines and major intersections.
At the Westgate West property, we have to choose between 2 rooms, an old barber shop that is smaller and cheaper, or an old photography studio that is located next to the bar. That's our demographic. That's a place we need to be.
SNL is now 15 years sober as a group. I think we need a bigger space that can handle the bar.
Sorry, SNL headed west to Westgate West on Prospect Avenue, which became our 5th home from June 1997 to June 2003.
Makes sense, they put gyms right next to ice cream parlors. Westgate West would be a place that revitalized the group once again.
I'm going to do some redesign work for the room. We'll tear down some walls, fixing ceiling tiles, install counters and sinks, and hang the chalkboard.
It can include meeting guides, big books, original documents depicting the beginning of the group. Where are you?
And round two.
I was
I'm
told
going
to be.
to run again.
And I'm gonna get a committee.
Westgate West is the place we all prayed for Val. Paul stood in the back half of the room. Robert, you want to take this one too? And someone put their name and sobriety date on it, and thus the silver pole was born.
I'm going to have archive boxes built and place them at the entrance area for all to see our 15 years of SNL history.
You can include meeting guides. Original documents depicting the beginning of the group.
The addition of the archive boxes in turn helped us to see our history as a vital part of our recovery, just as the traditions are a vital part of Alcoholics Anonymous.
As word spread of the move, members started to return to SNL. Smoking was no longer an issue. They had all died. People only had to walk outside, not to the street.
Let's bring back the midnight meeting.
Let's have a dance and return the fun to sobriety.
Let's go for coffee and pie after the Friday night meeting at Coco's.
How about a day of sobriety event and a speaker meeting and a dance?
Let's go to dinner at the Chinese after 6 p.m. men's meeting.
As attendance began to grow again, so did the fun between Halloween parties. Softball, bowling trips, rafting, camping, fun in the parking lot, beach trips, and yes, even skydiving.
Did anyone hear that the thank you Saturday Night Live picnic can no longer be held at the camp in Scotts Valley?
Let's get a group together and find a new location.
How about we move the picnic to Morgan Park in Campbell or Resona Park in Los Gatos so the tradition can continue?
Since our no talent cannot be held in the Prospect High School cafeteria any longer, why don't we see if St. Lucy's Church is available?
I propose we take group conscience and make a revision that one member can secretary as many meetings as they want.
Let's put together SNL reunion.
So in the midst of the move from Westgate West, we put together a SNL reunion event that was held in downtown San Jose in May of 2003.
The relocation committee was formed and began working.
The Dick Center room needs a lot of work. It has broken floor tiles, shitty toilets, bad walls, poor plumbing, lousy ceiling tiles, scary bathrooms, and a rotten bench out back.
Hey Jimbo, I'll help with the sheetrocking, front door replacement, and painting.
I'll help with the decorating.
I'll cover the leg carpet and put in chairs before the June 2003 birthday speaker meeting with Mario R. is speaking.
Mario, how should I set up the room? Maybe theater style with the doors on the inside.
How about bringing the place down and starting over? Like we had in room 47.
Again, after being outbid by the fencing academy at Dick Center on Bascom Ave, well, after being outbid by the fencing academy, we were told to fuck off. And Dick Center on Bascom Avenue became our next new home in June 2003 through February 2014, our longest stay of 10 years and 8 months.
Soon after we moved into Dick Center, our neighbors started peeking in our room, wondering what was going on.
Look at this parade of clowns.
They asked for a thick book in their languages of Farsi, Vietnamese, and other Arabic languages to better understand what the fuck we were doing.
How infectious is it?
Wow.
facilities coordinator was approached by the landlord and asked why we use so much water. The landlord said, "I thought you were recovering alcoholics." Jimbo replied, "Yes, but did I mention we drink a lot of coffee?"
Has anyone noticed that there is no heat or hot water?
No.
Jimbo?
We've only been here 6 months, and we're being put on notice regarding our behavior, messiness, and attitude.
Voted for the mattress.
How about an act of good faith? Say we paint lines on the front parking lot that nobody will understand.
I'll do the sweeping.
And I'll do the painting. And I'll get my sponsor, Don, to help pay for it.
This is Lenore M. It's hot in here. Let's put on some air conditioning.
Cheryl P. and I will get wired, then we will do the electric.
The membership continued with outside fun such as camping, snorkeling, picnicking, and fishing.
Why do we have new meetings?
Hey, how about a 2 p.m. and a 4 p.m. meeting like we had in old room 47?
Vamos a hacer una junta en español.
The outdoor midnight meeting will be held out back during dances and other events.
I'll create an SNL Facebook page. I'll develop the SNL website.
An unfortunate event happened. And SL's money was stolen from the bank account. Fundraisers were needed to replenish what was lost.
An anonymous donation of $2,400 came in during February 2010 to help replace the stolen money.
I think we should have a tile party so we can do some fundraising for the room, so we can have additional funds for future events.
I have an idea for a fundraiser. We could have a day where SNL has live music, crafts, food, and end with a birthday speaker meeting.
It could be a whole day event. We could call it Day on the Gravels. Is gravel.
Yeah.
Once again, it was time for us to fuck off. And a relocation committee was formed and a site was found. Year one.
That's me. In March? In March? In March
For SNL.
2014. Okay. In March 2014, SNL moved once again to our current location, Maplewood Plaza, on Union Avenue, where we still are located today.
The room was fixed to SNL specifications. Chairs were set up, meetings began, and fellowship continued. The group has matured a lot over the years. It says, pause for laughter. We don't seem to get into as much trouble by our neighbors as we used to, and more members have taken responsibility for the group.
We haven't talked to the neighbors, have we?
They all left.
Craig is still there.
Your turn.
Okay. Saturday Night Live, since 1981, has been conducting daily AA meetings, and it is estimated that over 3.5 million people have attended an average of 32 meetings per week. Number of weeks, 52. SNL years, 35.
Time to read this? Long.
A total number of weeks, 1,820. Average meetings of week 32, total number of meetings 58,240. Attendees per meeting 60.
Yeah, they changed already. Thanks to this event.
Jeez.
We would like to thank a shitload of people and all of you that have supported SNL throughout the years.
Yeah.